begin with a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Ms. Brown.
Mayor Kendall.
Present.
Councilwoman Constantino.
Present.
Councilwoman Foster.
Here.
Councilwoman McGrath.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki. Here. Councilwoman Williams.
Present.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes, present.
City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
City Attorney Persicini. Here.
Okay, so let's see. Presentation. We have a presentation and
Can you hear me?
yes.
The formal presentation on what our department is doing will be made at the next meeting. But the most important activity we have right now is to get prepared for the summer activities. Very ambitious plan, and we're only going to go with what it is that we can afford. Juneteenth is on the agenda. That gets us going. All the other budgets are yet to be worked out. There is no overall figure at this point because of two things. What are we going to get in terms of donations? And what is the ultimate budget going to look like in detail? So that's the extent of the presentation that we're making at this time. We will have a full update on all the projects at the next council meeting.
Are there any questions? Or, well, it's just a presentation. Thank you very much, Mr. Hampton. All right, this takes us to, I need approval of the minutes.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the motion to accept, receive, and file the minutes of the regular city council meeting held May 4th, 2026. Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any disapproval? Motion carries. All right, that takes us to agenda items. You can, anyone in the audience, if you have anything on the agenda that you want to discuss before we take it up, you have a moment to speak there, and you have 3 minutes. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a question regarding the summer funds, like the summer activity funds. By the way, I'm McKenna. I don't know if there's not a camera or anything, but I was confused with the presentation because he said that there was really no monetary amount that was given or you guys were going to talk about or approve, but on the agenda, he's asking for $23,000 for approval. And I also just had a question. I was wondering, hopefully you guys could discuss this amongst yourselves, of course. I was quite concerned about the $3,500 that wanted to be spent purely on publicity. I felt like that was extremely high. I work for the state and we do large state funding, public publicity runs for a bunch of different things, apps, and just so much other things, but we don't even spend that much on the statewide. So I was just confused why that was so high for such a small city. With us decreasing our taxes, I just want to make sure that the money that we do have in our bank is spent appropriately and maybe not just kind of thrown out. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Anyone else? All right, let's move on to, I need approval, a resolution for the
Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 11, with 11 being an appointment of Mr. Tabron to the Beautification Commission.
All right. Okay, I need, who supports?
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I have a question about two items that appear on the check register. The first one has me quite confused and a little upset. We are, later in the meeting, going to be approving Juneteenth budget, and yet on our first page of the check register, there is a Juneteenth event to American Structure Tent for $4,999.99. And that is 1 penny under what would need to come to us separately to be approved. And I find that to be very, I guess in a sense, I feel like it's almost deceptive. Because in the body of our meeting, when we're being asked to approve this, the tent and that portion of it is considerably higher than $4,999. That appears here as a check that has gone out already without approval. And so I find that to be very upsetting. Why have we already paid for something that has not been approved? And why is it surprisingly 1 penny short of having to come to council separately? So that's the first comment. And the second one is the conference registration. I'm not certain what that's all about. So I was hoping to hear a little bit more about that. That's the second.
Conference registration for who?
It says Community Development, AMR Alliances. And when I look at AMR Alliances online, it doesn't comport to anything that seems to have anything to do with community development. And so I'm just checking to see what that might be about, because I haven't seen something like that come through before.
Okay. First, Diana.
Yes, I'd just like to say that as far as the check for $4,999.99, Juneteenth, we have to secure by way of deposits for these tents. It's graduation season, it's family reunion season, wedding seasons. We have checked Oakland County, Wayne County, everybody under the sun, and what's happening is you can't get a tent. Now, if we didn't put a deposit, there's not going to be a Juneteenth celebration in the city. Let's be realistic here. We went through this last year.
John, that's exactly...
Wait, hold on.
And I have every right to write a check under $5,000 without council approval.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Szymanski had mentioned, we went through this last year. Juneteenth appears the same date of the year every year. Why are we waiting till the last minute to get approvals on things? Why are we waiting till the last minute so that we have to do this in a way that doesn't allow us to have any, I guess, input on it? The planning seems to me to be woefully behind. You know, the same thing's happening with the 75th anniversary. We knew about the 75th anniversary for 75 years. The city hasn't changed its date, and yet we're doing things very, very, quickly, instead of planning things in a way that would make sense. You know, last year, minute Juneteenth was done, we should have started the planning for this year. But that didn't happen.
No, that's not true.
And I will make a suggestion. At the next budget session that we have in October, I will propose that we have an entertainment budget set aside that the council can approve sometime in October, ready for January 1st so that we can get all the commitments. We don't have to go through this. We can sit down, have a committee, which is what we did this time, and decide all of this. And tonight, you're just being asked to approve the budget for Juneteenth. This is what Juneteenth costs. When people see a tent, they automatically think it's just a tent. It's not a tent. It's 2 trucks driving the tent here, somebody putting up the frame, somebody taking it down, fuel surcharges, chairs, I want to say weights that secure the tent, booths, everything that's included, and we're getting it at a premium time. So I mean, I don't set the prices, but I do know that they're the highest at this time of the year.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'm actually surprised that we didn't secure the tent sooner. I've done events at this time of year in the past where you've had to basically secure the tent at least 6 months in advance to get the tent. So I think we got lucky. And yes, this is what big tents cost. $5,000 is actually a pretty good price. So, but yeah, it would be nice to get things coming to us sooner. Then, you know, I'm inclined to be supportive of it, but, you know, or perhaps you reserved it and then now you just had to pay the cost of it. I don't know what the story is behind it, but,
Right.
but I mean, this is an event we've done for several years. None of this is a surprise to us. So I was expecting that cost. So it didn't occur to me to say anything about it because it's something we do every year.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I just hope, again, every year it seems to be the same council people trying to destroy Juneteenth. And I'm tired of it. You know, why can't we, this is the way it's going to be. So you say now because he paid for the tent in advance that you don't want, you don't like it, and so therefore we can't have Juneteenth. Is that what you're saying again?
Not at all.
Well,
Not at all.
you seem
This
to be
has
talking-
to do with how things are presented to us as a council. It doesn't have anything to do with the Juneteenth celebration. I'm saying, why is it appearing as $7,783 in the Juneteenth budget that we're supposed to be approving? And it's already been identified as something that's paid in advance without our seeing it at $5,499.99, which is 1 penny short of having to come to the
Okay,
council.
I've heard that. Now, didn't John give an explanation? You're not happy with that?
I'm saying that they should be planning this so that we get information without it being piecemeal and without it coming to us at the last second. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And it doesn't have anything to do with whether we have Juneteenth or not.
Well, it does.
No, it
It
doesn't.
does.
It has to do with how we are approving budgets.
Okay. So you gave an explanation. Can you
Okay,
move on?
guys. Is there any other discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I just had a question about number 4 on consent agenda, payment to Turf and Timber LLC. There's 2 invoices, I think it's on page 32 and 33, that look to me identical. There's invoice number 1897 and 1898. So I just had a question on it because to me, they both was for 19725 Elkhart. Identical.
It's on the check register.
It's in the packet. I think it's on page 32 and it's for the same, the same day, the same everything, was 2 different checks for 2 different amounts. I was just wondering why there was 2 invoices for.
I did actually contact the contractor for that same reason. There were 2 different trees at that same location that needed almost exactly the same service.
So you do it each tree instead of just one invoice with the price. Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
had the same question you did. I did double check.
All right, thank you.
Now, are there any further discussions on the consent agenda? Okay, roll call
Councilwoman Constantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaFrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
And
All right, then this takes us to old business, and we have none, and new business, city manager's report.
Okay, item G1, okay, a public hearing text amendment, City of Harper Woods zoning ordinance. Mayor and council, as was scheduled at your April 20th, 2026 council meeting, we will hold a public hearing to hear comment and input on the proposed text amendment to the zoning ordinance to increase the operating hours of cannabis retail establishments in the city. For this portion of the agenda, only the standard motions to open and close the public hearing are required. Mayor, a motion is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make a motion to open the public hearing on proposed text amendment to the zoning ordinance to increase the hours of operation of cannabis retail establishments in the city. Support.
Okay. Public hearing is open. If you have any comments, step up. If you have any comments from the council, please identify or, yes.
I'm concerned about the Thursday portion. Thursday's still considered like a work night or school night, and being open till midnight. I don't see why it's necessary on a Thursday night. First of all, secondly, it's, it is a school night and everything, and we want the
But it's not
city to
children
be.
anyway.
No, but if there may be some noise or whatever, sometimes people meet in the parking lot or whatever. I don't see the point in doing it for Thursday is what I'm saying.
Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
bars are up until 2 a.m. and the Taco Bell literally
Right.
across the street is open
Literally
24 hours.
across, right.
It's open 24 hours. So,
Well, people get hungry tomorrow night.
Yeah.
true.
Okay.
Did anyone contact the residents and give their comments about that? Because there's people behind them, right?
Yes, there are, at least on Kelly Road location, there are two residential, one directly abuts and then one adjoining property line that abuts there. And the reason behind the request for change in hours is nothing more than parity with the competing adjoining cities. East Point, as you guys know, just recently opened up theirs, and they've got one operating and 3 more coming. And we've already noticed a pretty significant disruption.
I understand that, but they're in commercial over there. There's no residents behind them.
There is right behind them as well.
Right?
So
I don't remember seeing that when I drove by.
Yeah, along their northern portion of the building, there's a house right there. On the southern portion, it adjoins 8 Mile. No residents there. But it's just leveling the playing field.
I understand that, but we had a lot of complaints when we first started this with the residents.
Are there any residents here?
The residents behind the building, do they know you're going to be open till midnight?
So I talked to both of them and actually got a written statement from one of them regarding proposals going on this evening. No issues whatsoever. No issues whatsoever. If you recall, at least in my particular location, I can't speak to chronic. I built a screen wall for them. And initially, the screen wall was supposed to be on my property, and at their request, having that communication, they requested, instead of isolating them with the alley, they requested that I build the wall on their side. So we're giving them everything that we're looking for. We're having the open, candid communication with our neighbors and making sure that we're not stepping on toes. We're just looking to be competitive, and in a very, very competitive market, in addition to taxation, it's been troubling. It's been very troubling. The profitability, we've seen significant changes. I have a presentation for you that I'll follow up with later, but I did want to address that with Mrs. Constantino, that it's just following.
Public hearing, we're supposed to be hearing from the
Okay.
public right now.
I have
This is the public hearing.
a resident behind you that would like to speak, so.
Oh, okay.
And after the public hearing,
He's cowboy?
then the question.
Gotcha.
Hello, I'm Nicole again. I just want to say I'm completely for this rule change. Again, also, I can't comment on the next one though, it's not open. The hour change would be great, especially on Thursdays. I can't tell you how many times I take Fridays off because I want to enjoy a longer weekend. And I'd love for it to be open on Thursdays. In fact, I've had to, on dozens of occasions, go to a different city because nothing in Harper Woods was open at the time that we wanted to go and purchase marijuana or edibles or anything like that. I have to go outside of my own city and give someone else my profits and tax dollars and all of that. So I'm absolutely for it. I know the younger people would. I know all my neighbors would too. This is a public hearing, and neighbors behind them probably knew about this as well, and if they had any issues, they would probably be here.
Is there anyone else on council or in the audience wants to speak?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just a quick question. I think I asked that at a different meeting, but I can't remember the answer. What's the current hours?
Till 10.
To 10 to 5.
10.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah.
I just want to point out that I attend a lot of public meetings, and this is how every one of them does it. We announced weeks ago we were having a public hearing. We invited everyone to come. McKenna came. And in the years since these businesses have been open, not one single person has come and complained. Not one single person.
Right.
So there was a lot of complaining before. Since they've been open, you guys must be doing a good job. I've never been in your business, but that no one has complained. No one.
All right. Is there any other questions, anyone from the audience? If not, I will ascertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the motion to close the hearing.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is now closed.
Okay, new business item number 2, request for text amendment, City of Harper Woods zoning ordinance. Mayor and council, we have received requests from the business owner at 19616 Kelly Road, Essence Provisioning Center, to make a text amendment to the zoning ordinance to increase the hours of operation for retail cannabis establishments. He has offered that the new cannabis retail business that recently opened in East Point on Kelly Road represents a loss of local revenue and reduced economic circulation, and that extended hours would provide an edge for his business and keep Harper Woods clients spending their money in Harper Woods, not other communities. The Planning Commissioners at their March 25th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting recommended favorably for the adjustment in hours of operation for his establishment and also for all marijuana retail businesses. I concur with their recommendation. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to amend section 6.15, marijuana establishments, part C, hours of operation as follows. All marijuana establishments must provide the City of Harper Woods administration and chief of police with the hours of operation of the facility, must provide revised hours if adjusted within 48 hours of a change, and must provide such information if requested by the City of Harper Woods. No marijuana retail establishments shall be open to the public between the hours of 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., Monday through Wednesday, or between the hours of midnight and 9 a.m., Thursday through Sunday.
Support.
Okay. Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank? I'm sorry, is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
has anything been sent to the residents that are living within like 500 feet or whatever? They were sent a letter or postcard about this?
Only prior to the public hearing that the planning commission held in March as required.
And they had a public hearing.
Right. So there was no need for any further. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Frank?
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kendall,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes.
resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 3, request to rezone, amend the zoning map 19616 Kelly Road. Mayor and council, the business owner at 19616 Kelly Road, Essence Provisioning Center, has also requested to rezone his property from MU-2 to C-R to permit a drive-through window at his existing licensed adult use cannabis retail establishment. Currently, the zoning ordinance does not allow for a drive-through business in the MU-2 district. However, it is permitted in the C-R district with the approval of a special land use. The applicant's request for a drive-through operation at his business was to increase accessibility for seniors and individuals with mobility issues and to improve customer safety, among others. It is possible to gain these efficiencies with delivery services or other means as well. The planning commissioners reviewed this request at their March 25, 2026 meeting, and they recommended that this request to rezone the property be denied, citing that Mr. Lipland's request did not meet the zoning standards of the city's zoning ordinance, master plan, and potentially be construed as an arbitrary spot zoning and could be precedent setting. I have reviewed this request and the planning consultant's review of the request, and I concur with the planning commission's recommendation to deny this request. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Okay.
by resolution to deny the request to amend the zoning map and to rezone property at 19616 Kelly Road.
Support.
Okay, discussion.
Yes, Madam Mayor. I was looking through the information that was sent to us, and I looked at the differences between the CR zoning and the what's it, the
MU-2.
MU-2. And the CR zoning also does, it kind of makes it more of a business light industry zoning where you could have bigger vehicles coming through the area. But our master plan was to make it more of a walkable on Kelly Road, which means actually more foot traffic rather than larger vehicles coming through. So, for me, that was a bit of a problem because we're trying to make it more of a walkable, family-friendly, walk through the area type thing. And that part of the zoning would make it not that.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
what about the curbside service? Kroger's has it, Olive Garden has it. Everyone has, dispensaries have it. We can do that instead of having the drive-through. Because we would have to do too much for that. We have to change everything.
So
And it would
actually,
be setting precedent.
The discussion is between the councilmen. I'm sorry.
My apologies.
Okay. Anyone else?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I know that our representative from McKenna is here. Perhaps he would be willing to give us some insight to our current zoning. I know that we were presented with an old zoning map here, but I know our current zoning is accurate in terms of wanting it to become a more walkable area. So perhaps he'd be able to give us some insight.
Okay, just a minute, please. Is there anyone else on the city council that wanted to speak prior to me going to you?
Yeah, I think, as Stadium, currently having a drive-through is very helpful, or curbside service would be very helpful, even though I'm not a user, but having that, you know, for someone who's elderly or a cancer victim or something like that would be a nice service. But I do understand that this particular site has natural limitations to it, which could be a complication. So it just might not work out for this particular site.
It was built for a drive.
Okay, McKenna?
Madam Mayor?
Let me hear what McKenna has to say first,
Okay.
because I didn't understand.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mario Ortega. I'm a senior principal planner with McKenna. Apologies that Paul Ardeel could not be here tonight, your normal planner. But I'm here because I have worked on the zoning ordinance and established the zoning ordinance. And one of the key aspects of it is that we took the momentum begun with the master plan. The master plan, the city spent a lot of money on the master plan to identify the different types of areas for redevelopment and reinvestment that they wanted to be targeted. One of those primary goals was to try and emphasize Kelly Road as a pedestrian mixed-use corridor. And in the master plan, some of the proposals were to allow for specific zoning to implement that. That included looking at potential increases in height, potential mix of uses, and focusing all the development on pedestrian-oriented design. So then the zoning ordinance, we worked on that to specifically identify and create regulations to do that. And as you know, the zoning ordinance was just recently adopted. We haven't had that much of an opportunity yet to begin at advising property owners about the probabilities of reinvestment that could happen based on this type of style and this type of pedestrian-oriented mixed use. And so, you know, the benefit really would be, or excuse me, not the benefit, but the point of the recommendation, and I believe the Planning Commission's recommendation, is to give this an opportunity to move forward, to not put something right in the middle of the corridor that is going to be contrary to all the efforts so far. I mean, right now, the benefit of the corridor is you only have one, maybe two real uses. You have one gas station, and then you have one auto repair in the area. So that's a benefit to all these other blocks that have the ability to continue mixed use, continue pedestrian, and looking to reinvest. So that's why there was a recommendation to deny this particular rezoning, specifically changing it to the CR, and also the other opportunities to address the issues and the concerns. Other issues, as noted, could be providing curbside service. Other uses could be, other means of providing customers additional facilities. And the city is already making that effort by just adopting the change in order and hours. So rather than go down these multiple steps going to have to occur, because this won't be the last step. There's going to have to be special land uses if this gets adopted, or even post-tax amendments. It's going to be a lot more just to bend and almost break the rules that have just been established for proposing a use, for proposing a drive-through configuration that could potentially stop something before it's even started.
Thank you. Mr. Toussaint?
I can understand the frustration he's going through, not you, McKenna, but the gentleman here. You know, the building already has a drive-through sitting right there. You got to look at it every day, not but you can't use it. CVS down the street has a drive-through, that's all okay, but, 2 blocks down. And I do understand the frustration you have of having this thing that you can't even use it. But, I don't know. I just want to comment on that.
Madam Mayor? Having sat on...
Were you through, Mr. Toussaint?
Sorry. Having sat on the zoning, we spent hours and hours and hours doing this. We didn't take our job lightly, and we divided everything up, and there was 3 of us on council, someone from the Planning Commission, members of McKenna from MEDC. we didn't take any of this lightly. So it's not a personal vendetta against your business. We were looking at the entire city and what was best for each corridor. So
Is there anyone else? Okay. Let me just say one thing about, I've heard this several times. We spent hours planning, that's why we make plans, to be able to change plans. When it doesn't fit, we have the ability to make the difference. Now, the difference being that the building that this is in question was already a drive-through. It's not like we don't have drive-throughs in the cannabis business all over the state. There are drive-throughs. Not only that, it's not like we don't have drive-throughs on Kelly Road. We do have drive-throughs on Kelly Road already. If this would enhance his business and make it more compatible, because every dollar that he makes comes into our coffer as the city of Harperwood. So why would we try to make our business in Harperwood more enhanced than try to stumble it with something as simple as a drive-through when it is already established to be a drive-through because it was a former bank? And if a bank had been there, what would you guys, what would you do differently? You would allow a bank to have a drive-through. So I don't understand the difference, and I've heard this said several times about how many hours we spent. We've all spent hours making plans and going over things, but those plans are made to be changed, and that's why you make plans.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
one of my concerns was initially that if we do this, then everybody else is going to want to drive through, but maybe if we have something tangible to draw the line, like this already was a drive-through, then if that's the case, then that makes this a little bit more streamlined than another business might be.
We only have two, and the other business is not financially feasible for them to make a drive-through there. I have not heard anything of a request from them in regarding this. In fact, they're satisfied with the way things are for their business.
We want to be pro-business, but at the same time, we don't want to favor one particular business.
But you're not
We
favoring.
want to, but if any other business had a drive-through already, and it existed as a drive-through for years,
Right.
then this is something we need to consider.
There are
If
significant
it
natural
makes
barriers
this
to
business
becoming a
better,
drive-through. They're all
I
on the bottom of
think-
page one.
If it makes the business better, then I say that we should not deny that the building is built for a drive-through, to adjust our plans, because all through the redevelopment of Kelly Road, we will be adjusting plans from our master plan. We will be making adjustments all through it. Because everything is not going to be as we saw it 5 years ago or 2 years ago.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Could I ask the city attorney to give us some insight?
Sure.
I tend to agree with McKenna when it comes to the master plan that was drawn up. It hasn't had the opportunity to take hold yet. We don't know. And it needs to take hold in order for us to, I think, move on from there and figure out what we want to do. We haven't even had that opportunity. It's brand new. Second of all, I have an issue with one single business. I don't want it to look as if we are kind of point zoning or specifically zoning based on one individual's or one business's need.
That's
As
not the
opposed,
request.
sir,
I'm sorry,
sir,
that's
when
not
the
the
mayor,
request.
calls on you, she can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, until that time,
Yes,
please.
ma'am, thank you.
It concerns me that we have just one business who has this, and we're being asked to spend some time and money and effort in order to change our zoning for one particular business. So I have concerns, which is not to say that, would it help the business? I don't know, I can't comment on that. I can tell you from a legal standpoint what my concerns are with it, and those are my concerns.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Also, I don't know if this would be an attorney answer or city manager answer or what, but if we deny the approval today, does that mean that he can never bring this back once, our zoning has kind of had an opportunity to get moving? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
And I'd like to answer that. I feel that we've taken the necessary steps at this stage. There are some concerns, like the city attorney just mentioned, that we could possibly be in a situation where we're spot zoning and there could be litigation involved in that kind of area. And the first thing that a judge probably would look at is our master plan. So I'm not saying to close the door on this permanently, but we have given some considerable room here, and let's see how things work out. I mean, you have an option of having extended hours, of having a delivery service. Certainly we want to help you, certainly everybody on the council wants to help you, but this is a pretty big step. It would involve an enormous rewrite of our master plan, and again, too much too soon is too much too soon.
Madam Mayor, I agree that it's a good idea. I do agree with that, but it is too soon. And can we put it off to the future a little bit so we can figure out what our master plans are really going to look like? I think that would be a better idea.
One year, we can bring it back to the council.
Madam Mayor, I guess you make it seem like this is some big, everybody seems like this is some enormous thing that he's trying to do, just open up this window. And it's so involved with changing so many plans and all that. And that it may set precedents that some strange people, they come from somewhere, want some exceptions also. I think we kind of take that a little far with this. It just, I don't know, I can't understand it. It just seems that we think it's a little bit too complicated just to open up something that's already there.
Any further? Yes.
Madam Mayor, I commend the owner for his idea of using the drive-through, because thank God he did have a drive-through, so I understand that. But I think at this time, the initial step, the hours should help, and we should just see what happens, and if there's any alternative things that's going on that the owner could do, and this can always be brought back later after we find out, after we see that the zoning might be better later with it open. But I think we've made the initial step already to support the business and the hours, and maybe taking any steps.
Well, Madam Mayor, does he have a presentation he wants to do that we want to consider? Look for the mayor to allow that.
Okay. Need for the presentation?
That's up to you, Madam Mayor.
Okay. You, Mr.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, council. I'm sorry, I'm not formatted appropriately. I'm trying to present the facts in the only way I know how. I mean, when it comes to public policy and the things that you guys do. I commend you. I see it's a thankless job, and I appreciate what you do. What I do want to point out is a couple of things.
Speak
I do have a presentation. Yes, I do have a presentation. I am not asking for rezoning. What I am asking for is a text amendment. In McKenna's review, they don't ever deny it. They say that there's not enough information here. So they were looking for specific plans, and I've drawn all that out in the proposal that I put in front of you. I'm not looking for a singular zoning event applied specifically to me. What I am asking for is a text amendment to the zoning of the MU2 district to allow drive-through, period. What you'll see in your packet on the last few pages in particular are an aerial of Kelly Road. It shows you all of the businesses along Kelly Road. Kelly Road has been there with these businesses for decades. And for decades, nobody's come forth to this governing body and asked for a drive-through. It's not an easy event. It is very costly for starters, but more than anything else, if you look at the bottom of the first page, there are natural barriers that the city already has in place. Even if somebody wanted to, there are setback issues. There are turn radii, there's fire events, there's stacking lanes, there's things that you need. You need parking for these businesses. They're already maxed out all along Kelly Road. The probabilities of somebody coming through and saying, hey, I want to put a drive-through there are extremely low. Otherwise, they would have done it already. If you look into it, all McKenna's report calls out is that the cleaner, more legally defensible path is through an MU2 text amendment versus a rezoning. So not troubling all of the hard work that you guys did for the master plan, not at all. What didn't happen at the Planning Commission is exactly what happened tonight here, is that all of the consideration was given to the timing by which the master plan was changed, and how this request was an offense to that. And it's not. I'm asking that that we look at it for what it is. Waiting for tomorrow in business is not a good thing, because all of my competitors move very nimbly, and I mean, Moses Roses just opened up a few months back, and within a month's time, they were in front of council asking for different hours, and they received it. It has to be nimble. You have to be quick, because there's no time for waiting in this business. Everything that I'm putting in front of you today, nothing costs the city anything as far as I know. All of the changes that I'm requesting are for a property that's already designated as all of the ingress egress options. Planning Commission didn't consider health and safety, well-being of the community. They didn't ask about any of that. I would challenge anybody to inquire and look into that. It didn't happen. It was all about the master plan and making changes. This was a pre-existing bank. This was already set to be a drive-through, allowing people. There was talk about curbside. I have curbside. What I do have is I have a roughly 20 to 25% clientele who are aged, looking for remedial action for things as simple as sleep and paint. They're not very good at the technology. It's just the fact of the matter. To be able to pull up and see what they're trying to accomplish and drive through is a huge event. I've spoken to a lot of people. The property has the ability to hold 12 vehicles internally without touching any sidewalks. So I don't see that many cars at one point ever. So the probabilities of a lane backing up to where it's a pedestrian issue is slim to none. I live on Kelly Road because of this business, and I can tell you that the pedestrian traffic is probably 50 people a day. It's not massive, but those same folks have to deal with the gas station pull-ins, the CVS pull-ins, the pull-ins around all of the upfront parking. So there are already things going on there. I'm here today asking for the things that I'm asking from this council as a support function for your businesses. Your own Kelly Road plan drew out the fact that $40-some-odd million a year is being leaked to neighboring communities. And if this council doesn't take aggressive actions, that is going to continue to happen. This young lady just came up and said, hey, there's been times where I've been, and she left the city. I don't even know her, so it's not a preemptive event. where I put somebody in place. This is somebody coming and telling me the truth. I'm asking for an amendment, text amendment to the MU2 zoning district. There are no heavy trucks. We don't deal with heavy trucks. The remainder of Kelly Road cannot accommodate drive-throughs. They can't, not without massive, literally taking down buildings. So I put this in front of you, showing one, this is not spot zoning. It does benefit the public, health and safety. It gives community benefits and accessibility to it. It is a unique property, being as that it's already been designed and built as a drive-through. All I'm asking is that you allow me to operate in that capacity. And I'm not saying me singularly. I'm saying put it as a text amendment. The fact of the matter is people can't do it anyway. And that's the primary MU2 district right there. We're experiencing losses because we're not being competitive. If this council votes no tonight on this proposal, then I have to wait a year before I can bring it back. And I can tell you this, I know that you guys have benchmarked the cannabis facilities. I'm going to tell you this without even knowing where you went. Some of them are closed. And that's what's happening. We just got hit with another 24% tax. If we are not nimble and reactive to this market on a very quick basis, it's going to be painful. It's really going to be painful, and is developing Kelly Road as a downtown district. If that's the goal, and I believe that to be the goal, then we need help. Your master plan is built as a guideline. It's not set in stone without possibility of change. That's why there are spot zoning. That's why there are text amendments, so that the council can move with the business that stays here and brings the people in. And that's what we're trying to do. This is not just about my business. It's about the city as well, and bringing in revenue streams that are going to go elsewhere. Because half a mile down the road, there's a facility that they can go to that's open later, and wouldn't surprise me in the least if they attempted a drive-through. But look at their setup. It's parking. If you have to have a certain amount of parking per square footage, can't use alleys. So they have troubles. They're going to have troubles. It gives us, the city of Harper Woods, a unique advantage in doing different things. This is not anything new. This is the city being, I guess, aggressive towards things. I didn't speak to my neighbors. I did everything that they asked. I have in the back here, where one of the neighbors wrote something and signed it out. I provided you with an aerial view to show what's going on. I'm not asking for anything more than a text amendment, you guys. I'm not looking for a rezoning. McKenna's report does not draw the conclusion that this cannot be done. It's very clear. So I'm a little bit surprised when I hear that this report, I have the copy too, it does not draw that conclusion. It merely stipulates that this would be a difficult task if it were rezoning, but if it were a text amendment, that is the more viable, defensible, Mrs. Diwali, I'm sure you'd agree with that, path where you say, hey, we're going to open up the floodgates to anybody who wants to do it. The fact of the matter is the city already, through ordinances and rules, already has natural barriers that aren't going to allow it to happen. Otherwise, those people would have been here already asking for drive-thrus. I need help. I need this council's help to do this. Everything's already there. And the whole entire facility is already built for it, and it's already there. But without your support, and that's what your city needs. Your city needs your support, you guys. Plain and simple. You're going to get people who are going to ask things, and it's your choice on whether or not you want to do it. Yes, it does help my business 100%, but in helping my business, it helps the city. Because I keep people here instead of going across the street or down the road. If this packet covers it all. Every item that McKenna drew out in their report has been addressed in here, and all of it was is my ability to put together a properly formatted plan. So that for that I apologize. I'm a human being with not much experience with this stuff. I went through it. I covered everything that they were looking for with references, so that you guys understood that this is not what it's being made out to be. It's not that difficult. Does it require some things? Yes. But everything that I put out there still leaves the ability for the city to govern and manage its affairs I would still have to go in front of the planning commission and get approvals for anything that I may ask. It's still gonna come to council. The big worry here is whether or not this is gonna open up the city's districts to Me Too's, getting drive-throughs. You would have more trouble, and honestly, I hate to say this because I heard the idea of, hey, what if we just limited it to somebody who's already set up for a drive-through? You're gonna have more problem with that than this way. I mean, people are gonna look at that as some kind of favoritism, and I'm not requesting that. I'm requesting that with the text amendment, the barriers are already there, you guys.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I guess I'm a little confused because where we were originally asked to do would be a spot zoning, but now what I'm hearing is to change the entire MU2 corridor to allow for drive-throughs in the entire corridor, which seems to me to be more of a major change than what, and my question is, was that presented to the planning commission, or were they only presented with the concept of spot zoning? So I'm curious as to whether the planning commission had an opportunity to consider redefining an MU2 zone area, and in fact whether MU2 is already defined by state law, that we could go in and redefine this particular zone to allow for that. I guess I'm a little curious, can we call the McKenna representative back up? I'm not sure whether we should be throwing this back to the planning commission to hear this new concept, because I didn't see anything in the information from the planning commission that indicated a complete change to the MU2 definition.
They did cover that in the review. It says right here, site plan and special land use approval are required for drive-throughs consistent with not currently permitted in CR district, and drive-throughs are not permitted in MU2 for marijuana establishments. So they're aware of it. It was there. That's what I'm saying.
And you presented it to them that you wanted to redefine the MU2? Or did you present to them that you just wanted to have a drive-through?
I presented that I was looking for a drive-through.
And so they did not have the opportunity to consider redefining MU2 to include drive-throughs?
So Paul put it in front of them through this report.
Terry, you were there.
But like I said, they didn't consider the logistics of this. All of the things that the planning commission normally looks at, like economic viability, health and safety, all of the things that the planning commission, whether or not is a clear breach of something the city can do, they never came to any of those conclusions. The only conclusion was, we have a new master plan, and I spent a lot of hours working on this and not changing it now.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have one comment though. I understand that the owner really wanted a text amendment to the MU2, but what's being brought before us tonight is not that. What's being brought before us tonight is a rezoning between MU2 to the CR. So we're being asked to do something different, and what's being brought to us is what we're going to have to vote on, not the text amendments that hasn't been brought to us. Right now, the only thing that's brought to us is rezoning MU2 to CR, which is what the council is going to have to decide. Because that's what's before us.
So if that's the case, I would respectfully request then that the council table this, allow me to go in front of planning with a more focused and direct approach to what the request is. Obviously different, so the opportunity is there. The difference is where I did request drive-through. I wasn't specific about it. Again, I'm human. I'm just trying to do it. I'm not speaking the language. Maybe if council then feels that the appropriate measure is to send me back to planning, I'm okay with that. But again, at the beginning, the end of the day, planning commission serves as a support group, giving their opinion and their decisions, their thought process on what to put in front of council, but at the end of the day, buck stops right there.
Madam Mayor, can you hear what Ty has to say?
Ty?
Yes. The planning commission was not presented with a text amendment. We discussed that, to answer your question. Perhaps the prudent thing is to take it back to the commission and see what they say. And have them make a recommendation to you. That's my recommendation.
Then, Madam Mayor, I'll offer to recommend that we table it and send it back to the planning
There's
commission.
already a resolution on the floor.
So can we get rid of that resolution? I mean,
Ms. Foster, we would need you to
You can withdraw your resolution.
withdraw your
Change
resolution.
it to.
Withdraw the resolution?
Yes. That's
Okay.
up to you, or you vote on what you already have on the table.
Okay, I withdraw my resolution.
You don't have to.
support.
It's a,
Yeah.
you make a decision.
She did,
She did.
and it was very supportive.
If she didn't understand it, make sure she understands what she's doing.
Do you understand? She doesn't understand.
Explain it, please.
If you withdraw the resolution, then we're not going to be considering the request to rezone. And we can table it if you want to say you're going to change it to tabling it for the council,
Okay,
and then we can send it back to the planning
okay.
commission.
I withdraw,
Or you can just vote on it.
I withdraw my resolution to vote on this amendment, on this
Yeah, correct, yeah.
current amendment, so we can table it and send it back to planning.
Okay, so you're gonna postpone it and refer it back to the planning commission.
Support.
Okay, it's resolution. So we need roll call vote, Ms. Frank?
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Roll call vote, please.
I see it. Hold on, let me just make sure I get all this before we
Mhm.
do that. Okay, so, Councilwoman LaPrat,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes?
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes. It will be postponed and referred back to the planning commission.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you.
New business item number 4, police vehicle purchase. Mayor and council attaches a memorandum from the Director of Public Safety requesting approval to purchase a fully outfitted 2026 Ford Police Responder F-150 to replace a 2016 Ford Interceptor that has reached the end of its life. Along with the purchase of the vehicle, several vendors have provided quotes to outfit the vehicle with the required radios, docking station, laptop, graphics, etc. for an additional cost of $37,401.60. These purchases are all included in the total cost requested. As his memo states, the cost of this purchase can be offset by the $51,967.10 CIT grant that we recently received.
Madam Mayor?
The detailed proposal and quotes are included for your review. I have reviewed this and recommend that this be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the purchase of a 2026 Ford Police Responder F-150 in the amount of $58,502.07, payable in 3 annual payments of $19,569, and further that an additional $37,401.60 be approved for the complete outfitting of the vehicle for a total of $95,903.67, with $51,967.10 of the CIT grant funds being used to offset the payment.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just to make it clear, my understanding is that our out-of-pocket, so to speak, is $43,936.57 as the total cost to the city after the grant of the fund.
You're correct.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
what constitutes end of life for a police vehicle?
Well, these cars have not only high mileage, but they have a lot of idle time on it.
Yeah.
And when they start breaking down and get costly repair bills, then it's time to recycle them. That's what we usually do through the city.
Okay.
Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank. Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Tucson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Constantino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, new business item number 6, approval of budget Juneteenth Festival. Mayor and Council, the Harper Woods 75th Anniversary Festival Planning Committee met May 14th to finalize the budget for the 2026 Juneteenth Festival to be held at Wayne County Community College on June 19, 2026. The festival will start at 1 p.m. and conclude at 4 p.m. The event will feature musicians, horse rides, libation ceremony, community awards, and artisans of all sorts. The financial outlay for the event is $23,033 and will be funded with a contribution of $15,283 from the City of Harper Woods and $7,750 from the Wayne County Community College District. A detailed budget has been attached for your review and comment. We will schedule public safety employees and others for this event to provide attendees with safety and well-being. I have asked our Deputy City Manager, Economic Director, and Deputy Economic Director to be on hand should the City Council have any questions. Each has done an excellent job in pulling this event together. I recommend approval of this budget. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the proposed budget for the 2026 Juneteenth Festival and the amount of $23,033 with the city's contribution of $15,283.
Support.
All right. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to risk being accused of being prejudiced. However, I do have some questions concerning the public relations. McKenna mentioned something that I had already had a question about. $3,500, this is 1 month away. And I guess I'm a little concerned about publicity. This is a Harper Woods event. And I have heard so much about teens that are, going to a particular community and doing very disruptive activities. I don't want this to become something that is going to be attracting a lot of negative, insight from outsiders, from people outside of our community. And so I guess I'm a little concerned. I think that $3,500 for 1 month, because this is coming up in 1 month, is a lot of money to spend on public relations. And so that's one concern. And then I also have a concern, and I mentioned this last year as well, because for the last several years, we've had the horses out there in the sun, and it just seems like it's cruel. We're doing this on a parking lot. We're not doing it in the park where I think it would be more comfortable, but we're doing it on a parking lot, and we are getting money from Wayne County, Community College, I understand that. But I personally think that the horse rides are just kind of cruel. And I don't know why we would continue to do that. And so those 2 items are items that I have a question about.
Okay.
Phil?
Phil, do you want to answer Irma?
Yeah. Would you please come up and explain?
If I could, Phil Kavanaugh, Deputy City Manager. I came on the job about 2 months ago, and I've seen all the planning that's gone into this, and I have to give a lot of credit to Irma, Ty, and John. I've been busy since the day I started, so I can imagine how busy they have been. I suggested a committee to try to help in the planning and to help in the transparency. And we have had 2 planning committees. One is for ideas, and we had one just last week. And that planning committee put together the budget before you. The planning committee also made the promise and decided that they would meet again on June 4th and present budgets for every event with the same detail up to Labor Day. And so that'll cover the whole summer. And the idea is those budgets, if approved by the planning committee, will then go before the city council and we'll have the same discussion so that we can, write checks in advance and do deposits in advance and that kind of thing. And then by the end of the summer, we will have all the rest of the year events, budgets to approve. And as our city manager said, we're going to get ahead of this next year and we're going to include it, an entertainment committee, in the budget process. And again, I started and I thought this event was to put Harper Woods on the map. Yes, absolutely, it's for the residents to celebrate, but there's a lot of great things happening in Harper Woods. And, I'm an outsider. I'm just learning about Harper Woods, and there's a lot to be excited about. And we want people to get excited. And I think big crowds, not only gather enthusiasm, but they also gather their own safety. There's safety in numbers. So I don't foresee, that. As far as specific things in the budget, I welcome your input in this process, and also definitely for next year, we're going to get ahead of it. But we're trying to present things. As far as PR, 3,500, it is a 4-month commitment. And a lot of times you hire a PR firm for 6 months or 12 months. We have brought that down, and we're trying to introduce 1 month. And a lot of times, one ad is $3,500. We're not saying that. It's just, as it's been said, and I can attest, there's only certain vehicles that Harper Wood utilizes right now. The Insider Magazine, Facebook, that kind of stuff. And that only appeals to a certain crowd. We are trying to get the youth invigorated. And that is why the decision was made that maybe we should have a PR firm. It is late in the game, and it's also campaign season. So I called around to a couple PR firms I know, and they're busy in these big races. This PR firm, and you can cancel this from the budget if the council so feels, but I think it is an investment of $14,000 for the entire season to get the entire schedule out. That includes branding, advertising, etc., and working with the city on every event. I'm not here to give a sales pitch. The decision was made that we wanted to publicize Harper Woods more. So if the council feels that that's not necessary, cross that off that budget. That's why we're presenting these things. But we're trying to put first-class acts out there, and we're trying to publicize the great things of the city. Did that answer your question?
Irma, would you give us a response about the horses and whatever else that you feel necessary? Because we had this question last year about the horses, and it did not pan out to be that way. So would you give us a...
But as an observer, the horses were scheduled. I hear it was a great event, but that could be a decision in, a discussion as you talk about the budget, and also as you plan out next year. If you don't think it's a good idea, voice it there. but they're already reserved. Wayne County Community College is already paying for them. So
The horses are actually therapy horses.
Right.
The horses are actually therapy horses. They are bred and trained to do what they're coming here to do. They're just to help the kids and senior citizens feel more comfortable. We've had them now for 3 years. It's through Queen Sabrina's Equestrian, and she does all the things through the city of Detroit, and she does Southfield. She works for the Detroit Public Library. You could look her up. She's on the internet.
I'm just not surprised, because usually we get to this point that it's not, Mr. Wakey was being Councilwoman Jerry LaPratt. But as far as the horses are concerned, I don't think that the people with, the owners of these horses would bring them out in dangerous areas. They love their horses.
Correct.
They pride themselves with their horses. They take care of them horses. I don't think that they would have, if there was going to be an issue about it, I don't think they would allow it to go do this sort of thing. Or the Humane Society would say something about it. They don't say anything about it. Or that animal adoption agency would say something about it. And $3,500 for a publicity thing is not a lot of money. And we try to do it jointly with the points, where we involve them a lot with it. So I really wish you guys could kind of get involved more on the planning side of things, or maybe go out and see some other things that are going on, before we always try to tear down every kind of event that we're trying to promote.
And for the record, this wasn't just planned yesterday. We've been talking about this since October. As soon as the last event finishes, we have a recent meeting. We all talk about what worked, what didn't work, and what we would like to see forward. And that's when we start negotiating with all the people who we end up bringing them. So it's not a last minute event.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just a few comments on the horse rides. Like you say, if the owners of the horses thought it was going to be an issue with them, like being on the concrete and cement, I'm sure they would not bring them out. So being that they're trained therapy horses, I'm sure the owners are well aware of conditions, especially if this is like our third year.
This is actually the fourth year that we brought them.
horses. And just personally, that's my favorite part. You know. But
And it's free to all the children and all the seniors.
and the other comment I want to make about the publicity, the 3,500, it sounds like this the publicity firm that we're hiring to do this publicity isn't just for our Juneteenth. It sounds like it was for the Juneteenth, the Jazz Fest, and
The entire season.
the entire season, which that I didn't know. So the entire season is different because Juneteenth, of course, is coming up. But Jazz Fest is a little bit later. And so if it's for like coming a 4-month period and advertising the other parts, that to me makes a little bit more sense. And also, I could have sworn we were doing this with the points were involved. Those points was involved for some of this stuff that we were doing. And even though this is a Harper Woods thing, maybe in the future they could offer offer some funds perhaps to assist us if they would like to, in the future, since we do some of this with those points.
If I can add something. Fraser Square and the Homium Group may potentially end up joining forces, so that may end up bringing the cost down even further. So we're still talking to people who are thinking about sponsoring. Some commitments have not come in. SMART, for example, is offering us money, and McKenna is giving us money, and AEW has committed to $5,000. There's someone, I think Priority Health is looking at doing the health fairs that we're talking, but all of those commitments have not come through because we can't get to the next step until we get your permission. I can't make commitments with someone that we're going to do something if they commit to it, and then you guys say, no, it can't happen. So I'm kind of like teetering back and forth with,
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just to be clear, though, the $3,500 for public relations is just for this month. And we're going to get $3,500 next month and $3,500, so a total of $14,000 for PR for 4 months.
We're
That's
gonna,
good.
if I could just add a few comments, we're gonna spread the cost across all the events. All the events have not been agreed to by the committee. There's been I want to say, a proposal. And what's going to happen after tonight is the committee is going to get together and work on the events that are going to take place in the future. Just like Ty was saying, just like Phil was saying, we're looking at this as one event at a time. We're just trying to put fragments of the public relation cost to these events, but they're all going to be moved, and we're going to get help on every single one of the events that the committee decides from here until the end of the year.
also, we did call other firms. We did not just nilly-willy decide on this firm. We called Mark's Lane, and we called Rothman, and one wanted $7,000 a month, and Mark's Lane wanted, I believe, $6,000 for one portion of it, and then they wanted an additional $5,000, $5,300 and something, for just making us banners. So Love Publicity is offering to do everything necessary, but that's because she also works for other companies that are doing stuff with us.
Madam Mayor, I think a publicist would be great because we have to get the word out that our city is here and doing things. And that's, how we do it now isn't really getting out there, even to our residents. So if they see more, they'll come out and do more and be part of us and not just say, well, our city doesn't do anything, because they don't know.
Correct.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Publicity is important, especially if we're trying to rebrand ourselves. And our city has so much to offer now that we might just have to bite the bullet. I mean, publicity is expensive. It is, and there's so many forms, everything from, different media forms to the different print forms and posters, different things. It's very expensive. I think if we're only paying, for 4 months and we're getting basically, publicity for all these events, I think that's a reasonable amount. When I see what other things are, cost out in the world, this is not an unreasonable amount. And as far as the horses go, I'm sure if they're being properly watered, they would be fine. I mean, there's horses in Florida, there's horses in Kentucky, and Michigan is not that hot of a state. I think if they're being properly cared for, I think that they will be fine.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I want everyone to understand that it's not $3,500, it's $14,000.
Right.
Okay,
understand
and I was under the impression that this doesn't include banners and signs, that would be something separate, correct?
Correct. Well, not the design. That's everything that has to do with design, creativity, branding, all that. Interviews, television, all of that is all one
So
package.
signs and banners
But we
would
have to
be
pay-
another expense.
Yeah, but they're not $5,000.
So what this company's going to do is do TikTok videos and Instagram
We can do
and
TikTok
Metro
videos.
Times.
We can do that.
So what are they doing?
Well, she's creating the brand. She's going to create the look, the message that our city is more than just deaths of the street. We have to change the way people are looking at the city of Harper Woods. Right now, the only thing that you ever see on television, in the radio, in the newspaper is that people get shot up the street. You never hear anything positive about the city, and I would think that, at least I would hope, that we all want more of a positive view of our community. I've spent the last couple of weeks bringing people from the city of Detroit, from Visit Detroit. Michigan Chronicle will be here Tuesday. I've been bringing people to see that there's more to offer here in our community than bad news. If somebody doesn't change the perception, you're not going to bring back the young people like McKenna to come here to the city and live. They're going to want to go somewhere else. They're going to want to go to college and leave, and then earn your tax base. Sorry, I don't know anything about you. I was just saying, you're young, and it's fantastic that you're here and that you're participating in the community. We need more of you, so.
All right, is there any further discussion?
I have one other question.
Yes.
I guess I misunderstood. Deshaun Jones,
Yes, ma'am.
it's 2,500, but then I see he's a committee member. What, is it 2,500 he's performing that day? What is this?
Sean is a producer, composer, international artist that works with children who are performers. He is coming to lend his name, kind of like, how Big Sean is in Detroit. Big Sean is coming here to lend his reputation to us so that we can bring more kids who are interested in music and performing. Be it spoken word, playing an instrument, singing.
So are we paying him $2,500 once, or are we paying him $2,500 a month?
You're paying seed money to pay the kids that are coming here to perform. And then I believe that he's bringing a 15-piece orchestra to perform, and I believe that's going to be, I don't remember if that was.
And for each one of the events, he's bringing emerging artists. The artists can be musicians, they could be dancers, they could be singers, they could be poets, they could be a whole host of people who might be famous a few years from now. You never know.
Correct.
And they're going to be performing at each show about 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. He himself is a two-time Grammy Award nominee. He's a heck of a sax player. And like I said, he's played all over the world. And he's got connections all over the world, and he's going to bring an X factor into the city of Harper Woods.
He's also interested in bringing a 50-piece orchestra who will perform for the opening of the Dome. So, but you'll hear more about it as the time goes on. Everything is still trying to be worked out.
All right. Is
Anything
there any
else?
further questions? Any further discussion?
Madam Mayor, I'm just a little concerned, and I know it's like our police will be on hand and this sort of thing, but there have been 2 incidents in the city of Detroit this past weekend. One where a 14-year-old got shot. Another one where 500 teens showed up. I don't want us to have any trouble. And I guess I'm a little concerned. I know we can't necessarily control it, but maybe how we advertise this is also something that we need to take into consideration. Because I know Detroit is having quite an issue with teen takeover.
Still want something to cancel this?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
You can't sit around with your head in the sand. You can't pretend that it's going to happen here. It doesn't happen in every city. It doesn't happen everywhere. It's just pockets. So I don't want to just sit in my house and say, I'm afraid. We have to go out and do things, and we have to depend on our police department. And I think they're doing a great job.
Madam Mayor?
You can take him if you want.
Did you have something?
Well, yeah, I mean, the teen takeover's been going on for probably close to a year now.
Yeah.
And it's been going on everywhere. It's not, it's a lot of major cities. It's in Houston and a lot of other places. This is just a thing that's going, but they're only going to the major cities. I don't think they're really interested in our city. But it's really a lot of suburban kids going into the city too. It's not just the kids from the city doing it. But I don't think that's a factor. I honestly think having Deshaun Jones, having all of the publicity, that's really going to bring our city up several notches. And to me, this little price we're paying, by the time we get all these other people buying in, we might not be paying even $5,000 by the time we get the smart money and all this other stuff. I mean, but we just need to take this step forward and quit being old fuddy-duddies. We've got to move forward with the times. We can't just sit around. That's not helping anything. I mean, I know you're concerned. Okay, move on.
Anyone else? Did you have something you wish to say, Mr. Kavanaugh?
The council member asked why Deshaun Jones was on the committee. It's an ad hoc member to just advise the voting members. And I might say that the chief of police is on there too, the parks director, and that is to support the committee for safety concerns and how we get the word out, and how we can just get best attendance. So those are just advisory members.
Are there any further discussion? Is this a roll call resolution? Okay, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kendall,
Yes.
Councilwoman Constantino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes.
resolution passes.
Okay, and new business item number 6, resolution gun violence awareness. Mayor and council, a resolution in support of declaring the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day is attached for your consideration. June 5th, 2026 will be recognized as a day to honor all affected by gun violence and to encourage the community to wear orange in support of the resolution. Wear Orange Day has been recognized by cities, businesses, sports teams, and national organizations. It is recommended that this be adopted to show our support. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make the resolution to adopt the resolution in support of declaring the first Friday in June, June 5th, 2026, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day.
Support.
Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Seemed like something came up about this last year. We had to wear orange. We didn't do any kind of resolution or something. Didn't we do something?
Yes.
What did we do that's different from this?
We did a resolution last year as well as the city.
Had a river around the tree.
Yeah. Put orange ribbons around the trees, which is something that they, Jerry, do you wish to read your resolution?
I can read it if people would like. Declaring the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. This proclamation declares the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the city of Harper Woods to honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence and declare that we as a country must do more to end this public health crisis. Whereas every day more than 120 Americans are killed by gun violence and more than 200 shot and wounded, with an average of more than 17,000 gun homicides every year. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is the mayor's highest responsibility. And whereas support the Second Amendment rights of all law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. And whereas mayors and law enforcement officers in partnership with local violence intervention activists and resources know their communities best and are familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, and are the best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. And whereas the community placed orange ribbons around trees and requesting that June 5th, 2026 we recognize as a day to wear orange, a color that symbolizes the value of human life and tribute to all victims and survivors of gun violence. And whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 5th, the first Friday in June in 2026, to help raise awareness about gun violence. And whereas wearing orange on June 5th, 2026, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the hands of people who should not have access to them and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our families and communities safe. Now, therefore, it be resolved that Mayor Valerie Kindle, along with the City Council of the City of Harper Woods, declare the first Friday in June, June 5th, 2026, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. We encourage all citizens to support their local communities' efforts to prevent the tragic events of gun violence and to honor and value human lives.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Yes.
Mayor, I know that in the past, the police department has had gun locks available. I don't know what the status is for that right now, because I think that our residents, should know that.
They still are available.
Yeah.
If we don't have some, we can always get them from the Wayne County Sheriff Department.
All right, so that, it just seems to tie into this.
Right.
To say our community does have these available
We
for
do.
residents. Okay,
Yes.
very
And
good.
if not, we check with the chief to make sure that we
Mayor
have put.
Maria's,
You have some representatives here that would like
You
to
said what now?
Yeah.
can we have these women speak now? Is that all right?
Have who?
There's a couple of reps here that have
Go
some.
ahead.
They've been patiently,
Good evening. I'm Mia Fraser and I live currently in Grocery Park, but however I grew up in the shores at 18 Beaconsfield and I attended school in Harper Woods for 12 years. I went to St. Peter's on 8 Mile and I went to Regina on Kelly Road. So,
Can you speak into the mic? I can't hear you.
You guys got it doesn't come out. No, go right ahead.
okay, so I attended school in Harper Woods for 12 years. I went to St. Peter's on 8 Mile and I went to Regina on Kelly Road, and I spent many hours next door at the library. So Harper Woods is part of the community I grew up in. Currently live in Grosse Pointe Park. I'm here today with Dewana, and she is a resident of Harper Woods. She has lived here for 23 years. My son Brian and Dewana's daughter Ariel were murdered at Michigan State University on February 13, 2023. By a deranged man who should not have had a gun. He purchased 220 bullets in the late afternoon of the 13th, went onto campus at 8:15 p.m., killed 3 beautiful young, vibrant adults, wounded 5 others, and traumatized thousands. We're here tonight to thank the City of Harper Woods for your leadership in the past couple of years at promoting the end of gun violence and promoting Wear Orange. In and of itself, Wear Orange, the color orange, does nothing. However, when we bind together and the community sees a bunch of orange ribbons and a bunch of signs out and a bunch of people with orange lapel pins, thank you by the way for those wearing orange, they start saying, well, why are you doing this? And we can have the conversation about the new laws that are in place, that there are IRCO laws. So if you know someone's deranged or having issues, you could get those guns out of their hands that they're legally owned. So his father, he was a 42-year-old, his father could have gotten that gun away from him. There were no reality is it could have been done. A good friend of mine from college who was a dentist, very, very bright individual. From an outside perspective, I thought she would have ruled by the string. She had 2 adults, children who were doing very well, 2 brand new grandchildren. She was suffering extreme depression. She owned a gun. She had always used legally, but she owned the gun. Her family knew she was suffering with depression. She took her gun, got in her car, went out to a field and shot herself. It shouldn't have happened. They could have gotten the gun away from her. There were no herbal laws to use, and they didn't think it would ever happen. But the reality is, we have to have those conversations. It's tragedy what's happening in our country, and our children are never coming back. They're never, nothing you do, no color that you wear, will ever bring our kids back. But I can't live with the fact that one of your children or one of your grandchildren might face a bullet for no good reason. There's no good reason for it to happen. We are not in a war zone. So we're here today to thank you for taking the leadership over the past couple of years to stand up and say, as a city, we care. And even though our kids aren't coming back, when I see people wearing orange and I see the signs out, it does do warm my heart that people do care and they want to change. I wish we would have done this 10, 20 years ago, right? Because now our kids could be here. We had great kids. We had great kids, and for some reason, they were needed elsewhere. But this is the #1 killer of children and teens. It's ridiculous. So, again, thank you for taking the leadership. A lot of communities are willing to stand up and say, you know, we won't accept this any longer. They say, oh, well, whatever their reasons are. 6 of the 7 communities surrounding us are all on board. So that's terrific. We're putting an End Gun Violence orange t-shirt on the Spirit of Detroit again this year. So Detroit's all in. Harbor Woods, I hope, will be with us. Grosse Pointe Park, Grosse Pointe Farms, Grosse Pointe Shores. Grosse Pointe Woods have joined as well, and we would ask that you again please do tie ribbons around your trees, and as many we have a lot of municipal buildings, so if you could do that again to create the discussion. Gun locks are available. I table and I have kids coming up to me saying, you know, can I take one of these? My dad owns a gun and I don't think he has it locked up, but please take it. You know, so just to have that conversation so the kids can talk about it. I have some figures that I wanted to just briefly go over. And yeah, orange isn't going to do anything, but educating the public on the effects of nicotine reduce smokers. Today, 12% of Americans smoke, 44% smoked in 1940. Mothers Against Drug Driving have successfully informed the public about the need for change. Drug driving fatalities decreased 44% from 1982 to 2024, with an astounding 73% decrease for drivers under 21. Now, why they're drinking and driving under 21 when the legal drinking age is 21, that's a whole different conversation. But I know my kids, they did drink, but they would not get behind the wheel of a car, nor let one of their friends drive. Absolutely would not. Whereas I did get behind the wheel of the car, and I did a lot. I did get in the car with friends who had driven, who had drank. And I wasn't a big drinker. I would drink one drink maybe. I should have taken the keys away from them. But it was taboo. I'm old. It was taboo when I was 21, 22, 23. We just would not say, no, give me your keys. Today they do. They do. So talking is important. Devil's Night is no longer in Detroit. Fires in Detroit from October 29th to the 31st have significantly decreased from over 800 in 1984 to less than 10 in 2023 and 2024. It's now 8%. Wearing seatbelts saves lives. Currently, 92% of Americans wear seatbelts versus 11% in 1982. So again, the color orange by itself isn't going to do anything, but
you supporting us and all the communities binding together will hopefully make a change for the future. We may not be here, Dewanda might be, she's a lot younger than I am, but we may not be here when the change actually occurs and you can statistically say, wow, there's been an improvement. But, you know, God, whatever life is saved is a life worth saving.
All right.
So, sorry for the long, I know I'm supposed to 2 minutes, but thank you. You'll see signs up all over town about different events that are occurring, and we have signs also for people to take and put in their yards, etc.
All right. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
Is that it?
And that concludes the city manager's report. Oh,
We
yeah,
have
the
to
vote,
vote
I'm
on
sorry.
it.
The vote.
Yeah.
Roll call vote.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kendall,
Yes.
Councilwoman Constantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrada.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yeah.
Resolution passes.
Okay.
And now that concludes the city manager.
Okay, call the audience, 3 minutes, please. Don't everybody come at one time, please. I would like to come at one time.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi again. Again, my name is McKenna Champney, Woodmont, resident of Woodmont, lifelong resident, and I'm here, of course, on behalf of the library. I want to let everyone know that we are unfortunately going to be closed on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of this week in honor of Memorial Day. So please just make sure you are out with your families on Memorial Day, and especially you're honoring our veterans, because they shouldn't just be honored on Veterans Day, but they should be honored especially on Memorial Day. And also happy Memorial Day to all of you, because you are public servants after all. So I just want to say thank you for that. Reminder that on Mondays, every Monday from 4 to 6 p.m. we have homework help in the library. This is our least attended event at the library, so unless every single kid in Harborwood is getting straight A's, they should be at our library helping getting tutored. We can do all ages, it's wonderful. We also have a new event. So on Tuesday, June 2nd, we're starting our own film club. So if you don't like books, that's okay. The library is for everyone. We have film club. That's 5:30 to 6:30. And then Wednesday, June 10th, we are having another speaker series. That is the history of the Hudson Motor Car Company from 5:30 to 6:30. And actually none other than former Mayor Ken Pointer will be doing that speaker series. So exciting about that as well. And then of course we have dozens of other events at the library. Apart from that, and also I hope that $14,000 goes towards promoting our library, because we could really be using that. We have amazing events all the time during the summer, so that would be really cool to have part of Harborwood's new brand and new face be the library.
Good evening, I'm your Public Works Director, Heather Touton. I would just like to mention to all of you and to mention to all DPW workers past and present, it is National Public Works Week. So I would like to publicly thank all of my current and past employees for the heart and dedication that they have shown this city. Thank you.
Reginald Tabron, Rose Court. First of all, I would like to thank the Beautification Commission for allowing me to be part of my new family. As you know, you talk about publicity and improving the livelihood of Parker Woods, and I take this personally because the main thing that I know that most people judge is on appearance of the community, and the cleanliness of the community. And I take pride in that. And I have no problem doing the right thing. Even if to others it may be degrading. I don't have a problem cleaning the community, because that's part of the image. And that's the first thing they see. Is if it's trashy, they're going to remember that. But if someone take the initiative and do the right thing, which
which comes from the heart. It has to come from the heart. You gotta have a heart to do this. You gotta put all the negative things about it aside and do the right thing because it's affecting your community. And so I have no problem with that. And that's one of the reasons why I joined the Beautification Commission, because I want to do the right thing to make our city look clean and also educate our kids so that we can create future generations of kids that have pride in their community. You know, I'm a man of few words. I let my actions speak more than anything else. And because nobody can question what comes from the heart and the action that you do to do the task. Words can be interpreted in different ways, but your action speaks louder than your words.
Thank you very much.
Greg Gargrove, Woodland Street. I sat in there listening to some of the comments about the rezoning for the, to allow a drive-through. So there's one thing